In NASCAR, running a team takes a lot of planning, sponsorship money, contracts, negotiations. For new teams, this can be a tough task to achieve. What happens when a team jumps the gun and announces something that isn't finalized yet? Well, for these 4 teams entering the next gen era, that's exactly what happened. This is how 3F Racing, Erebus Motorsports, Finishline Motorsports, and Team Stang got lost in the laps. Erebus Motorsports is an Australian supercars team that also races in GTs. They have won 2 Bathurst 1000s and a championship in the V8 Supercar Series. In fall 2023, Erebus announced they were going to run some cup races in 2024 with Brock Stuckey behind the wheel. They would have an alliance with Richard Childress Racing. The plan was to run 5 cup races. The only 2 named were Sonoma and Chicago. Ultimately, the plans were scrapped in 2024, and Erebus never made a cup start. Our next team is Finishline Motorsports Marketing LLC. In 2023, during the off-season, it was announced that Finishline Motorsports would field the number 80 Chevrolet at Daytona. They had apparently signed J.J. Yaley to run a part-time schedule that year, with sponsorship from Safeline Tire Rack, and an apparent alliance with Resume Brothers Racing. The team planned to show up in Daytona, but had to withdraw for unknown reasons. They then said they were going to debut at Phoenix, but that never ended up happening either. They then said they were looking at Talladega in April as their debut, but once again, nothing. And then nothing was ever heard from them again. No updates, no nothing. Josh Resume, owner of Resume Brothers Racing, had never even heard of the alliance deal. Looking back, it's hard to tell if this team was even legitimate. For all we know, it could have been some dude bored and just decided to make a fake NASCAR team. Our next team is Team Stang Racing. This is a Chicago-based team that started out in the K&N series back in 2014. They have also raced in Brazil, as well as the Indy 500. During the 2022 season, it was announced that Stang would field the number 79 Mustang for Tarso Marcus, starting at Road America in July. Marcus is a former F1 driver for Minardi. Dignity Gold was going to be the sponsor, and also reportedly that's what they paid in. The team planned to have Tarso run the truck race at Sonoma and the Xfinity race at Indy. The Xfinity entry was not approved by NASCAR, and they never ran the Sonoma race. They then announced they were going back to the ARCA series with the 46, signing Italian Formula 2 driver Matteo Annini to race in Mid-Ohio. This too never happened. And then they were never heard from again. In NASCAR or in general, they haven't done any racing in years. Our final team is probably the team that was closest to actually fielding a car, 3F Racing. 3F Racing is a German-based team that races in the NASCAR Euro Series. In 2022, it was announced they would field the number 30 in 5 races that year. For an unknown driver, they'd have a technical alliance with Richard Childress Racing. However, the team never shows up to any races in 2022, deciding to postpone their debut until 2023. But they did run a late model race at Florence for Chris Tate and finished 16th. Their plans for Cup were further halted when in 2023 they couldn't get their visa approved, meaning they couldn't sign sponsors, drivers, or crew members. In May 2023 they got their visa approved, but it was too late. Sponsors started backing out of their deals. But the team signed Ryan Vargas as their development driver. Vargas would drive in 4 starts in the Euro Series, getting the best finish of 10th twice. Vargas would go full-time in 2024, finishing 10th in points, with a best finish of 7th. For 2025, Vargas would jump over to the Canadian Series for DJ Kennington Racing. 3F Racing would not return to the Euro Series. And that is the last bit of racing 3F Racing has been involved in. Their Cup team is still up in the air, but it's most likely not happening. For some of these teams, you can say they got unlucky. Wrong place, wrong time. For some, they might not have even existed. This is how they all got lost in the laps.